meeting order and stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilwoman Schott, will please read.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with humble hearts, and we ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions that will affect our community. We ask you to bless and protect our employees, our police officers, and our first responders. And we thank the members of the military, both past and present, and ask that you keep them safe. Lord, we pray that we will always be aware of your guidance in everything that we do. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, Councilwoman Richard will be a couple minutes late. Okay, so we'll go through the minutes.
Motion for the minutes?
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Bills,
Motion for the bills?
Second.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
hourly workers' time report.
You didn't get one?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, fireman's time.
Motion for the fireman's time? Second.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Clerk treasurer, you are up.
We have received the third round of funding through the CARES Act in the amount of $35,351. In working with the fire department, I found out that their computer that they use is out for repair. It's 8 years old. We did put more memory in it. But in talking to Bill, the memory we're putting in will work for a while, but then it won't be enough to handle sending the information for the patients, data and information to the state programming. That's what they're having problems with. So we went over with the PC repair and a computer company. I talked with the mayor, with Bill, and with Greg, and we approved today for them to buy a upgraded computer with a lot of memory on it. And a new monitor for $1,966. That will come out of the CARES Act money. Each of you have a copy of the first responder contract for the grant that they write, the Ohio First Responders Grant. He wrote us a grant last year, we didn't get it. This year, he's rewriting it, resubmitting it, and hoping if we get it, then he will start to charge us for it. So far, we haven't paid anything on that contract.
Can I ask, do you have a deadline?
On the grant?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but I know we'd like to pass it as soon as possible because of the 3 readings will take, it may go past the deadline. The Cesar agency, Mike Cesar, is working to get a lower increased percentage on our major health insurance and our dental. And I'm sure that the health was at 4%. He's gonna try to get it down to a 2% increase. So he will probably be coming like the first meeting in November. He's working on that for us, to get those reduced a little bit. And that is it, other than all the legislation. Do you wanna read it now, or do you wanna go over it for the end of the meeting?
Do we have to vote on what you did for the fire department?
You're welcome to vote on the CARES Act. Greg already approved it.
Oh, I'm just wondering
Yeah,
whether,
go ahead.
I'll make a motion to go ahead with that.
Okay.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
do firemen's stuff if you want to.
Yeah, you wanna do that?
All right, Bill gave this to me today. Total calls year to date, 211. Total calls 2019 was 206. Mutual aid was given to Brewster 3 times. We received from Brewster twice. The new Life Pack 15 is in-house, and apartments will have units on the road for trick or treat, which is this Saturday. And we have the grant contract already.
Next Saturday.
Next
Oh.
Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, I'm good, yeah, I got time.
Okay,
That's good,
yeah.
yeah, good. Because I haven't been to the store yet. Okay, so yeah, we have this on the back, so. That'll take care of the fire department. He wants no money this time.
I've done good.
There you go. Okay. All right, then we'll go back to you. Ms. Richards, we're ready to go to legislation, yep.
Okay. Okay, this will be the third reading of ordinance number 20-10. An ordinance to revise the rules and regulations governing electric, water, and sewer account management billing and collections and authorizing the cancellation of utility debt owed for the Village of Beach City, which originates prior to the year 2015.
Motion to pass. Second?
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
Ordinance 2012 will be your third reading. An ordinance to authorize the mayor of the Village of Beach City, Ohio to execute a paid-up oil and gas lease with Ascent Resources Utica LLC. This is the lease for the fire department that was willed to them.
Motion to pass?
Hazel seconded.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Second by Bennett. Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Yes.
This will be your third reading of ordinance number 20-13, an ordinance to prohibit parking on the east side of Church Street from Redwood Street and continuing southbound therefrom, and to provide a penalty therefore.
Motion to pass.
Second.
Bennett?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
No.
And Schott?
Yes.
This will be your second reading of ordinance 20-14, an ordinance to amend and modify Village of Beach City City Ordinance 10-11, hours of the Beach City Park closure.
Motion, oh, no. There's only second reading, is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
2014. This will be the second reading of ordinance number 2015, an ordinance to authorize the mayor of the Village of Beach City, Ohio to execute a legal services agreement with the City of Massillon Law Department. Okay. Do each of you have ordinance number 2016? We had asked the solicitor to prepare an ordinance regarding changing the sick leave for those who retire from the Village of Beach City. The last meeting, he postponed anything on it, he wanted to do research. And we are in the right to change it as he designed this ordinance. So ordinance number 20-16 is an ordinance to amend and modify the personnel handbook and any other applicable legislation governing sick leave payout upon retirement. Will be your first reading. Then we have the resolutions. We have resolution number 20-06. This will be the second reading. A resolution to authorize the mayor of the Village of Beach City, Ohio to execute a fire and EMS dispatch services agreement with the Board of Trustees of the local organized government in cooperation, which is LOGIC. The second reading of resolution 2007. A resolution to authorize the mayor of the Village of Beach City, Ohio to execute a police dispatch services agreement with the Board of Trustees for LOGIC. Do you have resolution 2008 in your packet? No, I didn't make copies of this, I'm sorry. This is one that the Stark County gives us every year, and every year it's late. And they want us to pass it by emergency. It's where they verify the levies that are on the books. I have to type up information on 3 pages, 4 pages this time, listing the people that's here, who votes, who seconds, what your vote are, and it verifies our fire levy, the amounts we get for the fire and the police levy. And they wanted to pass this evening, so if you want to wait till I copy this for you.
What's the number on it again?
It's gonna be resolution 20-08.
They do it all the time, don't they?
They do, yeah. And they just sent it through and asked if we could pass it for emergency because it keeps them out of trouble with the state. So I'll make you copies and you can look at that, but if you want to go on to the next thing.
Okay. Guess we'll do police since, fire's done. Chief, go ahead and then we'll do business.
Okay, only have a couple things. Resident just came in with a complaint of parking complaint on 4th Avenue. I'll try to address that with the resident. So we can get that taken care of. And other than that, the only thing I need is, with some of the CARES Act money, I would like to, when we bought the new computers, I did not get Microsoft Office on those. At the time, I didn't think I would need them, but if we have to do things remotely, it'll help me with trainings to be able to do PowerPoints and give me a Word document and do my Excel sheets that I can send to my officers that way and do it more remotely. The license to put Microsoft Office on 3 computers would be roughly $750. So with COVID and everything, I think that would be a good way to spend some of that CARES Act money if you guys are okay with it. Other than that, I don't have everything's going good. We're pretty straight.
Was that, those 3 computers?
For 3 computers.
Is that a 1-year license?
So that's lifetime.
Oh, that's
Yeah, the 1 year is like $99, but spending actually did the lifetime, so I'd like to do the lifetime license.
$750 for all 3.
All 3.
I'll make a motion, we spend $750 to install on computers.
Second.
CARES. Bennett? Thomas?
Yes.
Richards? McKinney?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
And Schott?
Thank you, that's all I have. I'll have the report from this next week.
All right, we'll go to visitor speak. Mr. Baltz, you're up first.
I printed up a couple sheets, hopefully to get started, maybe looking at lowering the cost of utilities a little bit. I just threw some basic numbers out there, but what I took into consideration were all of the loans and all of the wages and benefits. And I made the benefits 1.5% times their salary, so, which is probably gonna be a little bit lower, probably not by much. As far as the water goes, I included on the back of the first page, I didn't bring my readers, but, through the months, September, it looks like they did in September of 2019, looks like they did an estimated amount. They billed about approximately 12,000, but I think it was in the 800,000 gallon range. So I just took that one out, and I took out May of 20 also. And since that time, from May 19 to August, it looks like we purchased around 33,756 gallons and sold 18,287 million gallons with a 15,469 unmetered. And that's from May 29 to August 20. Then I included on the next sheet, the water rate from the engineering survey from 2015, and I know Greg said something about rerunning that again. So this is actually, would have been way lower than what I had proposed even on page 1. As an example, if I had 5,200 gallons using their rate, it would have been $37.18. So it's, I mean, it's on the low side, so. And then on the last two pages, I just included those. Those are from the audits from 19 and going all the way back to 2008 and 9. Just this, right there is kind of this, the same thing that I mentioned last week, where I assumed that the water receipts were covering the debt service for the USDA sewer loans. And that's been in there for at least since that, from 2008 until this last audit. So, like I said, I just want to throw it out there, try to get some, you know, talking points to see if we can work on getting those rates a little bit lower. And I know we got some poles to replace too, so one's kind of behind my house. Hopefully we can get that nailed down too.
Oh, okay.
I have one thing for you.
You don't throw a stapler at me though.
Sorry, my hands are
I know
getting
my
off.
staples are really nothing.
You asked for their email addresses, and
Yeah.
I didn't respond today because.
That's fine, I figured you were busy today.
Well,
getting
no,
stuff.
because they're personal
Oh,
emails,
okay.
and if you wanna pass out a blank and have them fill it out to give it to you, that's fine.
Okay,
But I really didn't wanna give them out
Okay.
without their permission.
sure.
He would like your personal emails to send you information as he's working on it.
Mr. Marber.
Yeah, I had a question also about utilities, but you asked some of it. I was told like if we have a garden, you know, if we water the garden, we're actually, well, let me back up. We're charged twice for the cost getting rid of the water, plus, you know, for the water and then getting rid of it, right? Basically, okay. So if we, will have a garden that we water, or like that, there's no cost for it being exposed of, is it a cheaper rate? Do we have a separate meter, or just some questions? We're new in town here, and we just want to know.
If you contact Cindy at the utility office at 756-2011 and let her know, she'll probably have you get a reading when you start watering and when you stop.
Oh, okay.
And then she adjusts the sewer off for you,
Oh, okay.
okay?
Yeah.
Put it through what thing? No, not when it comes to gardening and pools.
That's what I had always
No, they always do a
I'm just
reading.
telling you what.
Well, who told you that? Do you know who told you that?
Somebody in this office.
I'm not sure, because ever since I've been here, it's always been that way, that they give them a break on their poles, they do a read, and then they do a read during gardening.
Well, that's good if you
Yeah.
do that, but that's not what I was.
Are you gonna have a problem with, the no parking in front of your house?
When I first got here, I talked to the police about that.
You walk across the street,
Oh, you're
No,
talking, oh, wait a
about the
minute.
vehicles
Oh, you're
in the
talking about,
street.
oh,
Church
no,
Street, yeah.
once we get our house remodeled, we have a driveway where we put both of our vehicles.
I think all the houses have.
It's cement there where we'll put both of ours, so.
Mrs. Marbury, Miss Marbury, did you want to talk, or did you just put your name down?
So I put my name down.
I
Okay.
put her name down, I
Oh.
didn't know she wanted.
That's fine. All right, thank you.
Right now, we're parked out there, but when's this gonna be passed in the park?
Well, they pass it tonight, so within 30 days or so. It's mostly for safety because of the fire engines, because if we end up having a fire on the south end of the church, when it's blocked up like it is a lot, you're not talking one or two engines, you're talking 3 different departments at least coming in, and some of them, you know, they might hit something. Because some of those guys, they park pretty far out sometimes. I mean, I live on the very south end, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, you go down there, you have to stop the car, pull over into the thing to let the other one pass.
Yeah, we had to do that. I'm gonna go over against.
It'll make things a lot easier.
With my truck, but we're just parked there basically now till we, and also I just wanted to tell you, when we first moved here, we have a camper, by now we thought it'd be sold. And I talked to the policeman, they said as long as I'm not on the street, don't have it blocked.
Yeah.
I'm over, but, if there's any question about that, you know, it's been advertised and,
That's
trying to get rid of it, but, they said as long as we're not obstructing the street, we'll be all right, so.
I have no problem with that. All right, thank you. Village administrator, you're up, Greg.
All right, couple things. We'll start Davy Tree Service, they're gonna be here, this week, they said Thursday, to check on 93 and 62 on the north end of our line to do some clearancing where we really can't get in there. The control panel for County 1, I just got a call from, the company that's shipping that, it'll be here tomorrow. So that's gonna go ahead with everything we need for that. I'll just be getting hold of Wood Electric, having them come in at some point here in the near future. We're gonna install that all at the same time. Bidding for our 2020 municipal road fund, it's already been in the repository once, so it'll be in again on the 26th. We should know by mid-November who the contractor is gonna be that's gonna be paving from the church all the way down to 5th. That'll probably be a tentative start date of April 2021. The other thing, biggest thing too, 2 things. First is our OPWC grant deadline was Friday. We weren't able to get enough answers from Canton about that, so it's gotta be pushed back. Now, with that being said, all of the application stuff that we've done so far still stays with Quicksall, stays with our engineers. So when we do go to reply again for it next year, it'll be a lot quicker and we'll be able to put it in as soon as it comes out, as long as we get the answers from Canton, being with the water line on 212. But that's gotta go before their council, and right now, on their priority list, we're about down here, because it's something that and it just needs to be pushed on a little more to get an answer from them. But even at that, we gotta know that number, and we couldn't get it in time for this OPWC grant, so that's gotta be pushed back a little bit. Which I did wanna do, but it was just a thing to where getting answers to them isn't as easy as you would think. Because I believe the mayor's tried to contact the mayor of Canton, hasn't got an answer. I've tried to do other things with them as well, but it's gotta go before council before that can be done. Other than that, I'm continuing to get prices and look at the replacement for the Derek Digger trucks. I got about 6 of them right in front of me, varying from as close as Canton, Ohio, to where Allpec, who's a major manufacturer of those trucks, which is located in Alabama. I'm trying to walk the line of what we can afford and kind of not, because everybody was saying that Brewster just got a new truck for $200 and whatever $1,000. We're not doing that. We can't do that. I don't think it's warranted, because they're getting theirs completely decked out with whatever they want on it. We can probably afford to go cheaper than that, so I need to also speak with Ed and see exactly what all we need or what we're gonna need to do in order to outfit them. Obviously,
A lot of these are complete trucks. Some of them have things that need to be bought for them, so that's still in the working stage, but next council meeting, I will have a lot of those for you. I'll have probably 7 or 8 of them that we can look at and kind of see which one works best for us and what we need. Other than that, I do not have anything else.
Thank you. Steve, do you have anything?
No, not really. I have the, now that the Halo, that paid up oil and gas lease passed tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have all the documents for you to sign after the meeting with this, the paid envelope. Other than that, I don't have any.
All right, thank you. Okay, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jen.
Do you want to go over the end of the legislation, finish it off? Okay. This is the, if you'll take these and pass them down, this is what Stark County sent. I think they sent it on Friday for passing by emergency measures the levy collection information that they do for us. No, well, they're doing it for every community, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I know, but I mean, I don't understand why they always wait till the very last minute.
That's
Like
how
they
it's
don't-
been for 20 years.
I know, like they don't know what's gonna
I'll look
happen.
at yours.
I got some stuff to tell you about that.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Greg.
Okay, in your first page, it's showing the main format of this document. They prepare this, this is how this, they want it, how the state looks at it. Where it tells on who moved, who seconded. Your second page is your schedule, which is actually the information, it's gonna be the general fund. When it shows the general fund, the amount approved by the Budget Commission, the inside 10 mil is what we get from Stark County pertaining to the people who pay their land taxes, okay? Then you have your fire, which has gone up, you can see it's above the 10 mil, because we have a levy, and then you have the police amount. That's what's generated for the police levy for the year. Does it mean we're gonna collect every dime? Not necessarily, people don't pay the taxes. And then again, it's broken down just a different way on page 3, where it lists the millage and the amount that's being charged and collected to us, and it's also the bottom of the page is the vote, where I literally type in the information so they can see who voted yes, who voted no, and proving that it passed. The last page is your signature page. We can go in, we fill in the blanks for the community, the dates, and our signatures.
I make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes,
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
motion passed.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes,
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
I do have one other thing. Maybe. You each got a copy of the grant for the fire department? Did I give you that? Please tell me yes.
I didn't have one, but I seen Bailey.
Did we decide, Stephen, that's probably why, do we need to do legislation on that, or can I use the old one, that's why?
Oh, for
That grant, that,
first
you know,
responder grants,
yes,
I think you could use the exact, the old one doesn't have any dates in the actual body of the resolution.
so we don't have to pass anything?
I think you still have to pass a new one, but we
Oh.
can just use the same form.
Okay, and then I did then.
How soon do you need that?
I don't know if he gave me a date, I know he wants to get it in because it's the grant for the SCBA's.
Right.
Each year, since we switched to this new man that does the grant writing, he has to send in the grant to the state of Ohio to try to get us grant money for the SCBA's to help offset our costs from our accounts, our fund accounts. And I did what Stephen said, I took the one from 2019 and I copied this, actually, I believe word for word, I just took out the dates and gave it a new resolution. On the document, and I can pass that around, I think I have one copy, Stephen's got one and I got one. He's just doing the same as he did in 2019, and he's not billing us. If we don't get anything, we don't get billed. If we would get money on the SCBA's, then he'll charge us the fee for submitting the grant, and then there is also a percentage that he normally charges us for, here's more of them. He takes a percentage of the value of the grant. Do you have enough yet? Here is, oh, you know what, I think I stuck a copy of those, at least one copy in the center of the table. Did someone take it and move it already? Here's what, that's it, that's the grant that the grant writer is proposing the agreement. This is the agreement. Here's another copy. I didn't want to make all these copies if I didn't need them.
Yeah, I looked at it a while ago.
Here's the original copy that Bill signed. That's the actual agreement that he does for us prior to submitting the grant. I thought that looked like it was a one-time thing, but each time he submits it, he must change that and redoes.
So I did that one. Do you want me to print this out real quick?
I already printed
Oh,
it.
you already have it?
Yeah, I did one. I just didn't know if I needed it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't sure.
And this has to be passed before he can do this.
Oh, do I still have John Thomas on as mayor?
Hmm?
On what, Georgie?
On this last thing you on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just get him to sign it.
Yeah, see if that would work, huh?
You gotta pass Connie White anyway.
Could be John Tucker.
That's what I said, I'm not covering.
Of course, he's got the right clerk anyway.
No, I was asking, this needs to be passed before he can do it.
Yes.
I make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes,
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
No.
motion to pass.
Second.
Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
and Schott.
Yes.
Thank you, that is good. That's the most we've ever had at one time. Thank you very much.
With the changing of the mayor's name
Thank you.
Do you want these all back?
No.
And then what about the bad?
Uh,
there, we have to bring that up yet.
yeah, you haven't brought that up yet, but I already did one for that. I just didn't copy it because I wasn't trying to push more down your throat at one time.
Oh.
You can have all the readings up through the end of the year for that. But it's done, but that's something you have to discuss about the finance meeting. I'm done.
And now, John, I
Go right ahead, Ron.
the finance committee met on Wednesday last week. And what we recommend be passed is, since everyone in the village, all the employees were given raises a few years ago, except the police department, we thought that the police department, this is the new rates that we came up with, has gone over but with the chief. Patrolman, $10, an hour, an officer, $12, the training officer, $12.50, sergeant 13, captain 14, and the chief 17. And that's for 2021. And then in 2022 and in 2023, 50 cents for each year. Plus the uniform allowance from $250 to $500 per year, but he must put in 125 hours in 6 months to be given that.
Okay, so we need to pull, that's not on the payroll ordinance, so we need to pull that and do a specific ordinance for that, okay?
All right,
Okay.
but that was the raise, the raises were there. And then there was also one more raise that we were recommending, and that's for our solicitor to be raised from $5,000 to $6,000 a year to coincide with the prosecutor's amount that we pay. It will be Maslin this year, I guess. And that is it on the raises. We also, on a separate thing here, we also recommended that the clerk's position be, the legislation be brought up to bring it from an elected position to a higher position.
What's that? I was gonna say
All
now.
the legislation for you.
Yeah, I've looked at the statutes, but it's been a while, and that's, I'll have to do the research.
I don't have, as a matter of fact, the solicitor or the prosecutor on this actual ordinance. We must go by the contract amount, which, if that's why the contract's there,
Right.
if you pass that, then we'll pass legislation for the contract, and I'll run with that doing payroll, that's how I do it.
Okay.
I had one question.
And this would start in 2021 for the solicitor.
Correct, oh, yeah, correct, they, yeah, give a year according to the contract. I had one question. Did you discuss, and I'm going by what was mentioned to me afterwards,
Yeah. That's what I
Cause I have
thought.
only
Uh, I was gonna say Jeff and
Oh.
Tom.
Yeah, Jeff and Tom. Oh, I'm sorry,
Tom was, you were increasing Tom to what?
increasing $1 an hour for
Okay,
Jeff, and for Tom also, $1 an hour,
and that's beginning
2021.
2021.
And then in the subsequent 2 years, they get a 50-cent increase also.
Okay.
2022 and 2023. They get 50 cents each year increase.
Okay.
Sorry, I had those wrote down and just overlooked them. I didn't have my glasses on.
Mr. Brown.
So, this will go to $14 in 2021, and then $14.50 and $15. That is, and Jeff is,
And now those were all the ones.
Jeff goes, you said 21. And then,
Is that actually the one that'll go into effect?
Right.
Yeah,
This here, not this.
okay, yeah, I'll use that to make the,
okay.
Could I ask a question before we vote on it? Will the other workers that are not included in this ordinance or whatever it's drawn up, will that be reviewed later in the year?
That's up to the mayor, village administrator, and the council.
Yeah, we'll do that next year.
The reason that was the police department, mainly only police department. We gave everybody a raise except the police department.
Oh,
And that's why we
well,
did
this
just,
is down the road.
right.
So what do you want me to do with this? You want me to take the example I have and take this and just make those changes and then the ones that didn't get raised, just what we're doing blank for right now?
Right.
Just make it, okay, that way it's all done when I'm gone. If you wanna address it, you can see where the changes were, okay.
I think they're current.
Okay,
Paying
all right.
is correct.
That way, maybe next year, we can look at everybody else. It all depends on what we get coming in.
Now, I have one request to make, and this is, I did it on my copy, I didn't do it on yours. Go down to the fire department volunteers, okay? Your copy, I think, says, and I'm guessing it's $1 per year plus a rate of, it says like $8.15 an hour or something, okay?
Minimum wage, yeah.
Which, instead of putting an amount there, can I put the word minimum wage
Pertaining,
per
then-
hour? Because what happens when we do payroll and it goes over from December to January, minimum wage usually
May
changes.
increase.
It increases and changes, so there's part of the year that doesn't reflect what's in the ordinance. And
Yeah, why don't we do it that
I always
way?
thought it was that way, because I thought when we
Just-
passed it,
I
it
just
was.
noticed it there.
Pertaining to the minimum wage.
I know they always get minimum wage.
So they used to get a minimum wage plus an amount of money, but minimum wage jumped that one year, so, so high with paying them that we just went with minimum wage with the rate and recording it.
Would you go along with that? Jack?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, we're doing-
I'll redo it, you guys can look at it, and then to make sure I got it right, and then you can go from there.
Okay.
Brittany, do you have anything to say? Well, you wasn't here at all on the wage thing.
Well, she
No,
wasn't supposed
she's
to
not on
be,
the
it was a
committee.
finance meeting,
Not on
And I understand
yeah,
that.
she didn't have to be.
So normally the council comes back up with the other three people don't show up. and
We
go
just
over
did
everything.
that, yeah,
It was a recommendation from the finance committee
right,
to the
to the council.
council.
So what does the council want to do? Do you want to vote on their recommendations? What do you want to do? This is your time to talk.
Oh, yeah.
You got something to say, say it.
I'm not gonna vote for it right now. There's a couple things in there I don't like.
Existing things or new
No,
things?
new things.
Okay. I was gonna say the existing, tell me what I did.
Well, it's just like the clothes allowance.
That's not in this.
That's not in the, this is just.
You're gonna do that separate then.
It has to be separate. It's on a separate ordinance, yeah. The clothing allowance has nothing to do with payroll. Nothing. Doesn't have anything to do with payroll. They have their own, it has its own, ordinance that lists police and it lists regular workers. It's not even on the payroll ordinance.
Whatever the rest wants to do.
Well, I made the recommendations.
I make a motion to accept the recommendations of the employees that you talked to, or about earlier.
That's what you said.
Motion and, Bennett,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
Richards,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bailey,
No,
and Chuck.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
You done there, Deb?
I am done.
Okay. The bushes down there, thank you. The bushes down there at the cemetery, I went down and looked at them. The ones that run east and west on the fence, every one of them's brown. The ones that run north and south, they're all green. It looks like somebody did something to them, or I don't know if they was put in a separate time, but I mean, every one of them is brown. It's bizarre, I've never seen anything like it. Yes, yes, Mrs. Grant.
In talking with Rick,
Yeah.
he thought, or there's a possibility in speaking with Jeff, that when the clarifier runs,
Oh,
remember?
there you go.
The clarifier runs, and it, depending on how the wind is blowing, if it hits the trees to the north,
That makes sense.
okay, for whatever reason,
Right.
those trees are they would be almost, yeah, poisoned, but they had just a tremendous amount of fertilizer on them, just from the air coming off of that.
Can we tear them out of there then?
So it's burning them.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're sort of like overdosing on fertilizer.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll have to take them out, but
Yeah.
I need to come up with something to cover that area, or I'd like something. It won't happen now, but,
The oil, I'm thinking, I'll talk to landscape people or
Yeah.
something, see what we can do, if there's anything that we can put in.
How many of them is there?
Take away from this acidity.
There's a couple dozen probably, close to that. I mean, it's those long bushes, yes, sir.
there are providing,
That brings up a question I got, is that why some of the tombstones facing, it would be east, are they, you know, where the engraving are, it's dirty, it's hard to keep them clean.
They're facing that way.
Being
It's
east.
possible. But usually though, the wind blows from the southwest usually.
I was saying on my house though, I get one side of the house turns
I know.
dirty.
So I'm wondering, but the east side,
That
you
is pretty strange. I don't know.
So then I can go to Artie Agnes and tell them it's gonna be taken, they're gonna be taken out.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna be taken out
And
and
we
then,
sort of figured out what caused it.
they have a suspicion that's what caused it,
That's
was
okay.
was the mist from the clarifier coming up.
I never looked at it, Artie's the one that brought it up to me, and I couldn't figure it out.
Well, we didn't know where to look either, until John went down and looked at it,
so
so.
we'll figure something out to put up there to block that site of the sewer plant. So, the other thing we got is Cindy's gonna leave us next year, and she's been real nice, she wants us to, so I talked to her, she's gonna stay for at least, well, she'll stay as long as she needs to, but she said she'd like to start breaking in someone on the first, or well, on the 4th of January, be the first Monday in January. And, so we was talking, and we was talking about putting an ad in the paper in November, the first, November 2nd, for her job, to have them, you know, come in and learn it. Well, put the ad in and then have all the applications brought back by the 13th. Then we can sort of sort them out and decide who we want to interview. That'll give us 3 weeks then before the next meeting in December. And then we can bring up, the person that, you know, we're gonna nominate. She said there was 56 applications for this job when she applied for it. So I have a feeling that it might take a while, so we'll probably need all 3 weeks of that. You know, I just want to know, you know, I just want to let you guys know that's what we're gonna do, if that's fine. with
How many
all of
papers
you.
are you gonna put it in?
How many do we have to put, 2? Or 3?
No, we don't have to do anything. When you do it with the, Canton Repository, you do it.
Oh, that's right.
Canton, Maslin, and Tusk.
Those are all the
Times
same.
Reporter. And then it also goes not only in the newspaper, it goes online. So if you run it, it'll be run in all 3 of those. And we're probably looking at about,
Which one costs?
I didn't see how big it was, I know it's a big ad. You're probably looking at about 1,000 or more a time. And we're running it, 2 different times, or how many times are we running it?
I don't know how many times we have to run.
I don't agree with Deb, I don't think you have to run it at all.
You don't have to
Unless
run
it's an
it.
ordinance on point that we've passed.
You don't have to run it at all by law, but we do because of the, especially, you just can't just hire anybody off the street to
Right,
come in
I'd
and
like to,
train.
yeah, I don't want somebody to miss it, I understand that. Well, we can do it with council, and we can do it twice.
Yeah, I
Same time
mean-
with that.
You could look at
Shouldn't it
online
be a
options.
resident?
Doesn't have to be a resident,
Yeah,
and,
like
and when you,
deed
with
or-
changing my position, will not have to be a resident,
Right.
correct?
Oh,
For the fiscal officer, I was just looking at that statute.
Oh.
There would have to be a separate legislation passed if the person is not a resident.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, you better print that off,
Um,
and forward that to me.
need not be an elector of the village or resign at the time of appointment, however, shall become within 6 months after appointment unless an ordinance is passed approving.
That's
That's
like
right.
the VA and all the other
Yeah.
ones that.
It'll abolish the clerk treasurer position, create a
Right.
consolidated fiscal officer, will be appointed by the mayor with consent of council. And in that regard, not to derail the conversation, but it requires an ordinance or resolution to make the change on the first day of January following the next regular municipal election at which the village clerk or clerk treasurer is to be elected.
Whoops.
2 years.
No, wait a minute here, go read this again.
Okay, so the change, you can pass, it sounds like you can pass the ordinance or resolution to make the change at any time, but it must be effective on the first day of January following the next regular municipal election at which the village clerk treasurer is to be elected. So I think you have to elect, and then first day of January after that municipal election, you pass it. Well, that would make
We
sense.
missed it, because she was elected last year.
Is that when you were elected?
That's when he voted, and then she took over the term
Then
this year.
I'll look into it more, but
Look into it more, and so, yeah.
it sounds like the change has to be effective first day of January following the next regular municipal election at which the clerk treasurer, so it would be January at the end of your term, after the end of your term.
My end of the term would be March 31st of 2023.
Okay, then I think that's when,
I'm gonna lock you in.
that makes sense then, because it would be effective January
2023.
2023, and then the position is abolished. And you certify it with the Board of Elections, so it doesn't go on the ballot, so there just wouldn't be the position on.
Okay.
But I'll look into it.
Yeah, like I told John, if I decide to leave early, they'll just have to bring somebody in and have them,
Appointed into the clerk treasurer.
Yeah.
Don't-
No, the utility clerk, that's fine. There's nothing there about it.
That's-
not, right.
That's not a statutory position, I know.
Okay, so, I think that's
okay.
all I got. Deborah,
No, I think I'm done, I think I have enough.
anybody on council? All right, let's go and watch some football. Maybe.
Yeah.